The light of Amitabha. See it! See it now!
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, I checked out The Last Starship, or at least that's the name it's under on Tubi. If you are looking for it on IMDb, I think it's under Monsters, and even then, it was hard to find on IMDb. Either way, this 2017 film was directed by Sven Kumpel and stars Jim Walker, Cecil Decker, and Ulrich Kargas, among others, of course. The story of this movie takes place far in the future with the post-apocalyptic world of Earth, where kind of everything has been destroyed with nukes, and so it's just kind of a big, radiated desert. And there's mutants out there, there's robots with guns out there, and maybe even like a lost enemy or something like that is out there as well. And so it's not actually about a starship, it's about this giant tank. And so this giant tank is going around the desert, encountering robots. I think their mission is to go rescue some temple that's under attack. And so they're making their way there. What will happen though? Well, you have to watch the movie and find out. Alright, so let's discuss this movie. Well, I thought this movie was a lot of fun for sci-fi fans. It has lots of different concepts and the world seems really well put together and really well thought out. They have different factions and they're all, well named and well perceived, and how they all kind of interact is really cool as well. And not only just like the human factions, there's also like a robot faction of just like roving robots with guns, and their kind of design is really funny as well. They're like kind of like doll heads on a robot body. I'll clip it in here for you. Golems. So they're lots of fun. The tank itself is lots of fun. It seems like a huge tank, probably like the size of, I don't know, a submarine or something like that. And so they have a top deck as well, and they're, hanging out on the top deck trying to look for enemies. And all of that really does work. They have an AI character, and I thought kind of that story worked as well. The AI character is like half a body, so he's got to be carried around as well. And how he kind of progresses from being very simple to more complex is interesting. They also seem to have this really cool concept of clones in this one. All of the clones have a very distinctive like kind of face tattoo, and so it's very easily distinguishable who's a clone, who's a natural born human, and that's really cool. And they even talk about kind of how their society is structured that way. I guess like the clones are immune to something and everyone else is not, so it's kind of interesting how it all works. And they even kind of built a religion around it as well. And so instead of praising the clones, they're praising like DNA or something like that. And it's such a cool kind of religion that I wish they had gone into much more. As it stands, it's only like a little part, but it's really interesting. And you get to see kind of a service of their religion, and that's really interesting. They even have a song, and I wanted them to hear more of this song, but it's a fantastic little, religious song. I'll clip it in here for you.
Fight the DNA and take another step higher.
And so you can see there's lots of different things that go into this that sci-fi fans will definitely enjoy. In addition, I really did enjoy all of the costumes. I thought they were so cool and interesting. With the clones, like I said, they all have this face tattoo, which is very interesting just to very easily tell who's a clone, who's not a clone. And the way it's done, it looks like it's done in post sometimes because it's not like going with the curvature of their face. But at the same time, like I was really looking hard at these tattoos, and it looks like it could be done in post. So it's just something very high quality that way, where you can't even tell if it's shot that way or not. Other than that, they have buttons on all their hats, and they're really cool as well. They have very unique buttons for all the different main characters. And then with the bad guys, they're all the same buttons, but again, it's the main characters who you follow, and just adds a certain level of detail where it's really interesting just to notice all the different buttons. And then they have some characters who are really out there. They have a whole class of samurai women who are all dressed in red, and it's really cool. They have the priests as well, and they're wacky outfits are very interesting. All of it reminds me of something you might see in like Warhammer 40,000, and specifically with like the guardsmen, who are just, humans running around 40,000 years in the future. So it's just kind of like grimy and dirty that way, but all of it just has such an interesting aesthetic that, a sci-fi fan could watch it just for the costumes, I think. So there's lots of stuff that goes into this one to make it pretty enjoyable. And furthermore, this movie does have CGI in it, and it is quite prominent in it. It looks really good, I'll say that. Definitely, I enjoyed seeing the tank. I enjoyed seeing the other tanks. I enjoyed seeing the robots, the giant mutants. They do have some things in there, like the face tattoos, that I really can't tell if it's done in post or done, practically. So that just, shows the kind of the quality of it. It also has lots of green screen backgrounds, and they're done seamlessly as well. You can never really tell that it's a green screen, or it doesn't look too, unnatural or anything like that. And so all of the CGI in it is just incorporated very well, very competently to go into this to make even more enjoyment for any sci-fi fan who watches it. And that brings me to what doesn't work with this film. Well, I can understand why people wouldn't want to press play. It does look like a low-budget movie, so if that's not you, then you're not going to like this one. I enjoyed that. I really like the costumes, like I said. The CGI works well. The green screen is... You can notice it, I guess, if you're really paying attention, but for the most part, it's okay. With this one, the last Starship, I gotta say, there are no starships in this one. It takes place on Earth, and it's a giant tank with wheels on the ground, so there's no starships. It's also not the last as well. There's a bunch of other ones that we see and hear about as well. So the title itself makes promises that it cannot keep. Its alternative title, Monsters, doesn't make sense to me either. So that, I think, would kind of deter people as well. So there are some things in it that, general audiences might not enjoy, but sci-fi audiences, I think, will really like this one. Also, I thought all of the acting was really good. It definitely helped to immerse me into this world. They're trying their best, and it shows. I believe the engineers were real. I believe the clones were real. The soldiers were real. So all of it just really helps you bring yourself into the movie. And I don't know, they're just so charismatic on screen that just kind of makes you want to keep watching. So all their performances definitely get a thumbs up from me. So who would I recommend this film for? Well, this is a call for all sci-fi fans out there. Try to press play on this one. I think you'll enjoy it. Other than that, there's lots of different people who I think would enjoy it. If you like post-apocalyptic stuff, it certainly has stuff for you. If you like Warhammer 40,000, you'll get a real kick out of all of the costumes and kind of the world they've set up with clones and whatnot. So all of that certainly should work. So press play if you can. As for rating, I'll give it the 5.6. I did think it was better than average, but not necessarily above average, if that makes sense to you. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.